Hi, I'm Dre Marshall and I'm the founder of Project Academy. In this video, I am going to talk about application tracking systems and how to avoid the pain of updating your resume. So, what is an ATS or an application tracking system? It is a software that provides recruiting and hiring tools for companies. When you apply to a job, your resume usually isn't seen directly by the recruiter or hiring manager in the first phase. So usually in the first phase, it goes through the ATS. That human may not ever see your resume depending on how well it's optimized for the ATS algorithm. Um, Usually the ATS will give the recruiter like a match score. So to say, oh, this person is a 98% match to the job, or 50% or 35% or something along those lines. And the recruiters actually filter based on that who they want to go on to the next step of actually getting their resume reviewed and then to the hiring manager. So, what type of companies actually use an ATS? So, 98% of Fortune 500 companies use an ATS according to JobScan. 66 of large companies use an ATS, and about 35% of small organizations use an ATS. And this is according to a Kelly OCG survey. So hiring professionals use this to narrow down their application pool. But of course, some top candidates could slip through the cracks based on how their resume is optimized. So the real question is, do you yourself need to be concerned about an ATS? Do you need to change your resume every single time? Well, let's start with this. The first thing you have to do is have an intentional career. Like, what type of job are you actually looking for? Because a job at a Fortune 500 company is going to be very different than at a small organization. So I will use a Scrum Master role, for example. At a large organization, you may be one of 100 Scrum Masters, and there may be a hierarchy where some of the top level executives are actually going through maybe a program manager or a head of Scrum or an Agile coach. So you may not have the direct contact to make an organizational change that you can make at a small organization. So a small organization, you may be the only Scrum Master, and you may be coaching executives in how Scrum works, Agile, and so forth. So you may, on a day-to-day basis, be working with top-level executives and also the team. So understanding what you want to do, and how you want to interact and who you want to interact with is really important to understand if an ATS even applies to you. Because at a small organization, if you're looking to target small organizations, you can basically ignore the ATS. More than likely, you'll be fine because there's only 35% of those small organizations that actually use one. But at a Fortune 500 company, 98% use them. So you are going to need to pay attention to an ATS, pay attention to the job description, and maybe update on a regular basis, maybe not every single time. And I'll talk about that right now. So, how do you avoid changing your resume every single time? I'll again continue with the example of a Scrum Master. It should be fairly similar since it's a predefined role in Scrum. Whether it's a top five Fortune 500 company, a large organization, small or medium size, a Scrum Master is a predefined role in Scrum. It shouldn't change dramatically. It shouldn't be a Scrum Master and a business analyst, a Scrum Master and a project manager. Those don't exist in Scrum. And you have to decide if you even want to work for a company that's going to have you doing 2, 3, 4 roles, because that you may one of the roles is going to be diminished if you keep going like that. So in this case, you can look up your top 5 companies on your list. Let's just say, they're Fortune 500 companies, and look at the descriptions for a Scrum Master. They shouldn't vary much, but take those consistent keywords and add those to your resume in a way that makes sense, right? So you don't want to just put random words in there, but make sure your skills and your title, they make sense and have those keywords in them. An example, let's say your title at a company was project manager, but your actual role was Scrum Master. You don't have to put project manager. That's just what they titled it for their HR purposes. But if your role was actually a Scrum Master and you were acting as that, it's fine to put Scrum Master. Or if you feel concerned about that, put Scrum Master / project manager. Um, and so hopefully that makes sense to you. If you look at those descriptions and add those in, again, a Scrum Master should be really consistent. So you can, and a lot of these companies use the same application tracking system. So instead of having to change it every single time, a Scrum Master's role should, like I said, be predefined. So if you're updating the skills to match the skills that these jobs are asking for, and the skills that Scrum is asking for a Scrum Master to have, and also your job titles are making sense to what you're looking for in this example of Scrum Master, you should be fairly fine and could avoid changing it every single time. A project manager may change from job to job, but a lot of the key skills do not change for a project manager. And same with a program manager. So you would do the same thing. You would look at maybe your top 5 companies and see some of the similarities in the description and make sure you have that in your resume in order to just optimize it. There are also some tools out there where you can scan your resume based on title, and it will tell you if your resume is optimized for those job titles. So you can also do that to help you understand where you can make changes and to avoid having to change every single time. So hope that was really helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want some more advice on this topic or any part of your job search, you can download the Playbook, which is free, or you can book a free career clarity call with me, and we could talk about your personal struggles in the job search and how you can overcome those. So great talking to you. I look forward to hearing from you.